Hey, today we are talking about the top 10 reading resources for you to help improve your English. Now, there are so many fantastic resources out there. The possibilities are endless, but this also means that you can get overwhelmed and a little bit lost when it comes to choosing something to read. Especially if you don't naturally love reading, it can be difficult to force yourself to read in English. But I want to remind you that reading is a fantastic way to develop a lot of your English skills. And it also is something that you can do on your own time. I myself have not always been the biggest reader. When I was a student, I honestly didn't enjoy reading. I didn't like reading things that I was forced to read. But as I grew up and I became an adult and eventually a teacher, I discovered the importance of reading, the value in reading. And so today we're going to go through my top 10 recommendations for you to help you find something to read. Regardless of your level, you will find something on today's list. And everything that I mention, I will link down below in the description box so that you can explore and find the resource that you like the best. Let's go. First up, we have graded readers. Now, what is a graded reader? A graded reader is a book that is written at different levels. So you have the same story, but it comes in different levels. And graded readers are specifically for language learners. The great thing about graded readers is that you will be reading stories that are intended for adults instead of just reading a children's book because it's easier. I know that a lot of adult English learners do read children's books, and while there's nothing wrong with that if you do in fact have children and you're reading those books with them, I always recommend trying to stick to content that is appropriate for your level and for your age. Now, the reason for this is because if you read a bunch of children's books, while that will help you with your pronunciation, with your spelling, with your vocabulary, the content that you're actually reading is not very useful for you. Okay, so you won't be able to take away the content and then go ahead and produce something with it or use it in your real life. So I'm not saying that you should never read children's books. You can read children's books if you have children, okay, then I think it's fantastic to read with them. But if you don't have children, I would recommend trying graded readers instead. Now, Oxford University Press has a lot of fantastic graded readers. I'll show you the website here. And remember that I will link everything down below, okay? So you can go ahead and visit this website and then you can explore and see what different stories and books are available. Next up, we have news articles. Now, there are websites that are specifically for English language learners that use articles as a resource to help you improve your English. So these are websites like Breaking News English, News in Levels, and Deep English. I will link all of these down below, okay? Now, the benefit of using websites like these is that, again, they have been designed specifically for English learners, and you can choose the level of difficulty or an appropriate level for you. These websites also have comprehension exercises and quizzes to help you practice. So I highly recommend having a look at these websites. They're free and they are fantastic resources to get you started. I know that just reading the news directly from the newspaper or listening to the news or watching the news can be a little bit difficult in terms of vocabulary, content, language, and so on. If you find that reading the news is a little bit difficult for you, then go ahead and give one of these websites a try instead. Next up, we have recipes. Now, if you are someone who has to cook or likes to cook, chances are that you look up different recipes. Maybe you look up recipes in your own language, or maybe you watch videos that teach you how to make recipes. Now, if you do look up recipes on a regular basis, I strongly recommend reading the recipe. A lot of recipes come on food blog websites, and there's a lot of fantastic vocabulary if you are someone who does like to cook and looks for new recipes regularly. All right, so this one might not be for everyone, but I'm giving you suggestions that you can integrate or fit in to your everyday life. All right, so recipes is a great one. And there are tons of websites that have recipes. I will also link some suggestions down below. Next up, we have short stories. Now, short stories are interesting, they are engaging, they're short enough so that you can finish them. And there are tons of short stories that have been written specifically for English learners. And stories like this will help you with vocabulary explanations. A lot of them come with comprehension questions as well. And you can find short stories with vocabulary explanations and comprehension questions like this on the British Council website, for example. So that's also linked down below. Next, we have audiobooks. Now, audiobooks are cool because they allow you to read and listen simultaneously or at the same time. Audiobooks help you manage longer novels if you like to read and you do want to read novels in English. They can be challenging because they are long. A lot of times you have to stop, translate, reread passages, and sometimes it can be a little bit discouraging or frustrating. So this one is specifically for higher level English learners. I would say at least an intermediate level, okay? If you are interested in reading books in English, an audiobook is a great tool to help you because you can have the text and audio at the same time, and this is going to help you to recognize words, build your spelling, build your vocabulary bank, improve pronunciation because you're going to hear the correct pronunciation and intonation as well. All right, so audiobooks, another fantastic choice along with the text. Another great option is blogs. Now, a blog is a page that is updated regularly. Blogs can be personal, they can be informal, they can give commentary on different topics, or they can talk about business. And the cool thing about blogs is that they can be about absolutely anything that you are interested in. There are travel blogs, there are food blogs, there are fashion blogs, business blogs. The list is absolutely endless. And as I said, blogs are updated all the time. So there are lots and lots of great options available for you. One blog that is specifically written for English learners is fluentu.com. Remember, everything is linked down below. FluentU has some fantastic blog posts about lots of relevant topics for you as an English learner. The blog posts are nice and short, so you don't have to spend a long time reading them, but you get a lot of valuable information. Now, magazines are another nice option. Back in the day, I really used to like getting physical magazines, especially when I was traveling on a train or on a plane. I loved to flip through magazines. It's just something that I still actually really like. It's very nostalgic for me. But nowadays, a lot of magazines have transitioned fully online. So you can find magazines, again, that cater to your interests. If you like travel, food, fashion, business, education, whatever the case may be, you can find digital magazines. You can also go to the bookstore or to the grocery store and buy a magazine. That's a good option as well. Magazines, just like blogs, are a really nice option because the articles are short and manageable. So you can read them and reread them as many times as you need to and not feel the stress of having to finish reading a really long text or a really long passage. You can even read a blog post or magazine article on your lunch break or in the morning while you are having your coffee. And you'll have this sense of accomplishment because you will be able to complete whatever you started reading. Next, we have English learning websites like Duolingo or ESL Pod, which again, I will link down below. Now, these websites are helpful not only for reading, they also give you the chance to practice other skills like listening, but you can have access to lots of different types of lessons, podcasts, exercises. With websites like these, you can access interactive lessons, podcasts, you can practice your reading and your listening skills, all right? So make sure that you're exploring all of these free, accessible websites that are out there designed specifically for adult English learners. Next is one of my personal favorite resources, especially for at least intermediate level learners and above. It is TED.com. Now, TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. And this is basically a database of speakers talking about lots and lots and lots of different topics, giving talks on different topics, okay? Now, TED.com is such an incredible resource because first of all, you can find topics for everyone. There's something for absolutely everyone. You can find long talks and short talks, anything at all that you are interested in, you can most likely find on this website, okay? And the database continues to grow. And whenever you are watching or listening to a talk, you can read the transcript that goes along with it. So it's not only beneficial for your listening, but also for your reading. And finally, last but certainly not least, we have good old-fashioned books. Any kind of books. This could be novels, you could read ebooks, you could read fiction or non-fiction, you could read business books, self-development or self-help books, you could read science fiction books, mysteries. The list is infinite. You can literally read any book about anything that you like, okay? And I'm curious to hear if you have a favorite book or what type of books or stories that you enjoy reading in English. Please do let us know in the comments, and if you have any recommendations of books that you'd like to share with anyone else here, please do leave those down below as well. Now, whenever you are reading in English, it's very important to choose material that matches your interests, your learning style, and is appropriate for your level. You can start with simpler, shorter texts, and then as you feel more confident, more comfortable, you can gradually read longer and more difficult passages. It's also helpful to get in the habit of paying attention to grammar structures while you are reading and frequently used new vocabulary and expressions as well. Now, regular reading practice, even for a short period of time each day, will absolutely help you to improve your English skills and vocabulary range over time if you are consistent. Now, speaking of reading, do not forget to grab your free ebook, English Conversations Made Simple. This is a short ebook that I've written to help you master the art of conversations in English. Now, as I said, everything that I mentioned, every resource, every website will be down below in the description box. And I really encourage you to go through these links, explore them, and take advantage of all of these amazing resources that are out there for you. If you have any questions or any other recommendations that you'd like to share, drop those down below. Thank you so much for watching, learning, and spending time with me today. I'll see you very soon in another one.